Welcome to Fox Valley in Focus. I'm Barb Nadeau, your host today, and our guests include Jim Hill, he's the commander of the Plano American Legion, Patty Steffens, she is the business development director for Fox Valley Older Adult Services, and Deanna Roby, a 4-H youth development educator for the University of Illinois Extension. We have a lot to talk about today, and we'll get started in just a moment.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better.
Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Our first guest today is Jim Hill. He's the commander of the Plano American Legion, Post 395. Jim, thanks for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
You and I have known each other for a long time, and I've watched, as a resident of Plano, I've watched all of the wonderful things that the American Legion has done and what a community-minded group it is. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the mission of the Legion and how you are making that mission a reality to the community. So you have several different groups there. You've got the Legion members, you've also got the Sons of the American Legion, and the Women's Auxiliary.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
All right. The Legion itself was originally founded in 1919 by the veterans from World War I. Our specific post, we ended up being chartered in 1920, in March of 1920. So we've been in existence since then at several different locations around town. The main emphasis is for helping the veterans and assimilate back into the community, helping the community itself in all different contexts, both at the youth level, at the adult level, just getting involved in the community affairs, things of that nature. Two areas that we pretty much stay out of and we don't even allow discussions to get into is political discussions and religious. We stay away from those as sacrosanct on those.
But I always look at the Legion Hall as really a treasure right there in Plano as a community hall, and you open your doors to so many different groups, and you really do an outreach to the community. That's
something that a lot of people, I guess, recently, I'll say over the last several years, it's kind of fallen by the wayside. Excuse me. We used to be Mothers Against Gangs, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, MAD, MAG, all different types of nonprofit organizations can come to our hall, and we offer our building to them to have their meetings, whatever is necessary. We also try to orchestrate where possible. Like I said, when we get to political issues, that if someone wants to use the hall for a town meeting or something, we definitely open our halls for that to, hey, come on in. They're, again, trying to augment that for the local political scene or any other organization to have an open discussion with and dialogue with everybody in the community. Mm-hmm.
You're at a great location, too, right there on Dearborn Street in Plano.
Yeah, we're just a block south of Route 34, behind the old Tasty Treat, for everybody who doesn't know where the Tasty Treat's at, or was. But we have a decent parking. We also have a elevator that we can talk about a little bit later. But so we're handicapped accessible. We have we have a very large upper room. Excuse me, froggy today. Also have a smaller meeting room downstairs that's open. But we have the Boy Scouts, everyone else presently. The Commerce Association is utilizing the fire department. They're having a dinner there for their appreciation of their people. Again, we try to reach out to the community. The same thing goes with, just recently we were not able to work with Capstone from the Plano High School. We were already booked and we had another venue, so we were not able to assist them having their dinner at our site. But yes, we try to get out to everybody.
But it's a busy place and people should keep it in mind and come over and take a look at it.
Sure.
But that's all something that helps you, I'm sure, the rental and having the different groups coming in to the building, but it's all about you helping other people. And that's the thing that I think is so impressive about the Legion is how much you give back. You were telling me before the show you have some pretty impressive scholarship and special award programs for youth that help them learn more about their country and why it matters to know more about their country.
Correct. And getting back to, like you said, the different organizations, the American Legion, we run what we refer to as a Boys State program. It's a week-long program that the students between junior and senior year, they will go down and spend a week at Eastern Illinois University. The Ladies Auxiliary runs a similar program, Girls State, and they do the same thing. They actually will put up a complete local government all the way up to and including electing governor, representatives, senators, mayors, the whole 9 yards, running all the political issues. And this is a very good program for both the boys and the girls to meet other students from around the state of Illinois because they're drawn in from all over the state. Our post, we will pay the predominant amount of money because it's a $250 fare to go down there. We would pay that for the student that we're going to be sending down from our particular school. Every post in the county or in the state has that same program. We also have another program for Eagles, for Boy Scouts, Scout of the Year award. They can get up to, on a national level, up to $10,000. We also have a special Eagle Scout award. There again, $1,000 for state and higher. Our major thrust for scholarships is the American Legion Oratorical Contest. It's a speech contest that we start at the post level, high school level, and then they go up and they can reach up to, at national, the top three venues are $14,000, $16,000, $18,000. Any freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior in any of the high schools and home study, homeschool students can also be participant in that. We bring the homeschool students in at our county level contest, and we do it that way.
And I'm going to stop you there because I don't want to run out of time.
Yeah.
It is amazing what your Legion Post does for the youth, for the schools, for the community, but we also want to give back to you. And I know that you have a big production that you put on for Memorial Day, and I want to talk a little bit about that, and I also want to find out about how we can help you. So tell us about Memorial Day.
Memorial Day is, we have two ceremonies, one a brief one at the Veterans Memorial right there at the corner of South Street, Route 34, and Center Street. We do a short memorial there, and then we start the parade up to Little Rock Township Cemetery where we have the main one, and we'll have a guest speaker for about 10 minutes. And up there we have everybody involved. We have the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Cub Scouts, any other organization that wants to join in the walk. The bands from intermediate school, Emily Johns, the middle school and the high school are all involved in that. They all come up and play pieces for us in that too.
It's a wonderful thing. And
Right.
then we have about 1 minute left before I have to say goodbye. Tell me about your elevator fund. I know
Well,
you're trying to improve your property.
What we're trying to do is it's 20 years old, and we're trying to do upgrades on it, and we're hosting the third Monday of every month a dinner, and it's reservations. We put a specific dinner out like in the month of May. On the May 16th, that night we will be having barbecue ribs, and the prices vary, but we have drinks, and we have some raffles trying to raise money to help offset the expense of, it's going to be a rather large expense to fix our elevator.
Well, we certainly want
Get
to
it
help
upgraded.
the Legion because you do so much to help us. And so you are on Facebook, and you also have a website.
Our website is planolegion.org,
Okay.
and it's just like it sounds, planolegion.org. And we can also be found if you just like Plano American Legion. Find us on Facebook, like us, and there. And our website has all of our calendar of events, and you also have access to the Ladies Auxiliary, the Sons of the American Legion, Boy Scout troops, who we also charter.
Fantastic. Jim, it is always nice to talk to you and find out
Awesome.
what's going on with the Legion, and I want to thank you for being here on our show.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for letting us come in.
We'll be right back right after
Okay.
this.
Mom! Mom!
What?
You can't find Ichabod.
What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you.
Everyone has friends. There's online friends, friends to go out with on a Saturday night, friends to hang out with and do nothing, friends who show up on moving day. And then there are the friends who'll be there if someone is dealing with a mental illness. Are you one of those friends?
Patty Steffens joins us now. She's the Director of Business Development for Fox Valley Older Adult Services. Patty, thanks for being here. Tell us about your center.
Thank you, Barb. It's a pleasure to be here. Fox Valley Older Adults is 44 years old. We've existed in the DeKalb area across the street from the fairgrounds for the last probably 30 years. We were formed by a church in Serena, the Methodist Church, 44 years ago. We service DeKalb, Kendall, LaSalle, and Bureau counties in home services and adult day service, but we also have many programs and services at the senior center in DeKalb. The Fox Valley Community Center, which is the name on the outside of the building, has a beautiful hall that we rent out for weddings, and we're having the Sandwich Education Foundation event there tonight. And we've just been honored to serve our seniors in a multi-county area for so long.
Well, that's it's fantastic. It's commendable, but what a challenge, and especially nowadays with the state of finances and uncertainty that all the nonprofit agencies in the state of Illinois have been going through. I know you've been going through this too, and you have recently gotten involved with an organization called Give Local. It's a national organization, but it's Give Local DeKalb.
The national organization is called Give Local America. It's a one-day online fundraising event. And we're involved in Give Local DeKalb because our actual center sits in DeKalb County. So for one day, May 3rd, you can go online, and it's a matching fundraiser. That's why it's so important, because there have been matching funds developed, so it's a little more of an incentive to people to give.
Oh, that's wonderful. And how much do you hope that is raised on that one-day push? Do you have any idea?
I don't. This is only our second year into it. We are trying to get the word out online. We're going to have laptops available for the seniors at our center. We have a wonderful men's breakfast on Tuesdays, so the laptops will be there for the men to hop on and give, or we'll help them, and because it is online giving, so it's a little different for our senior populace, but not for our donor base, which is of any age.
Well, and it's wonderful, but I was going to say frustrating too, because if you miss that day, what can you do to help?
Well, we always have types of donation sites available. Right now we have a GoFundMe page. So you can just go to GoFundMe, Fox Valley Older Adults, FVOAS, and you'll see our site. And people have been going on and participating that way. I just want to touch briefly on the situation in the state. We don't want people to think that we're closing. There's been a lot of rumors. A lot of larger agencies have closed. We've been open for 44 years. We're bound and determined to stay open. We may have to reconfigure ourselves a little bit, but we are not closing. We had some dates flipping around that they thought we were closing, and we're not. So
well, that's good to know. Very good to know. And again, GoFundMe, FVOAS, and that will take you. And I've never gone on that site. Is it easy?
It's very easy.
Okay.
You just go to GoFundMe.com and then search for FVOAS, and it'll pop up, and we'll have our picture and our story, and it tells you how to donate.
Okay, so it tells you a little bit more about the need, and then also gives you step-by-step
Yes.
to make a donation. Again, that's wonderful that you're teaching the seniors how to do online giving, and just teaching them to get more comfortable with computers. That is a challenge. There's a lot of very computer-savvy seniors out there, and then there's the other population that hasn't got a clue and is frightened.
Well, and we do have a computer lab at our center that was donated by Kishwaukee Hospital, Kish Health System of Northwestern now. And so we're very grateful for that. And we have a couple seniors that come daily and hop on the computers. And
Well, I think it just highlights for me some of the important things that FVOAS does. And I don't think that if you're not living with that generation, if you're not actively caregiving as a son or a daughter or a neighbor, a caring neighbor, you may not realize how important an institution like yours is. And the fact that you allow, or not allow, the fact that you have adult day services and that you do the in-home care and what that means to the people that you serve.
And those two programs, home services and adult day service, keep people living independently in their own homes, vital, enriched lives in their own homes, and that's our main mission. We do have an adult day service in Sandwich at the Senior Center, and it's a wonderful place. It's very nurturing and warm. They get to eat a congregate meal that's done daily at our center with Voluntary Action Center, who's one of our partners, VAC. And then we have home services. We do private home services, which is very exciting to us. We've been doing home services through the State of Illinois program for maybe 12, 14 years now, but we just recently got our private home service license, and that opens a whole other area of the populace that we can serve. And we are available for DOORS clients, for people who are under 60 years old. And we serve hundreds of clients in a 4-county area through those programs. And it's wonderful. It not only helps the senior, but it helps the family because it gives some respite so they can get a little bit of relaxation, go out and take a walk on a day like today.
Right. It's an amazing thing that you're offering. And again, for 4 different counties, you are pulling them all together into the city of Sandwich for this. Before we run out of time, though, I want to ask you about, and we've talked a little bit about the importance of funding and how when we go to that GoFundMe page, you'll be able to see what their goal is, and you'll be able to see, where they are on the way to raising the money that they need. You're also having a big gala event in May.
Yes, our biggest single event fundraiser of the year, our spring, this is our 23rd gala, Spring Live and Silent Auction. We have Mayor Rick Olson as our DJ, and he does a great job. He's bringing in a comedian this year, Jerry Grossman, and we have hors d'oeuvres, very, very, very deluxe hors d'oeuvres, and a dessert buffet, as opposed to a formal sit-down dinner, which over the years we realized that's kind of not the way people want to party. They want to pick up some great hors d'oeuvres. These are hearty hors d'oeuvres. Rachel Conover, who is the director of the Indian Valley Vocational Center's culinary school, she's coordinating this with her business that she has in Yorkville called Ginger and Soul. And so anyone that knows Rachel's cooking knows that this is fantastic food. And it's Saturday, May 14th from 6 to 10. The tickets are $50, and that includes the live and silent auction, the gourmet hors d'oeuvres and desserts. And we encourage businesses. We're going around all of our areas, towns right now, encouraging them to be sponsors of the gala. And bring your friends, buy a table. It's really a fun event.
Okay, so how do we buy a ticket?
You call the center at 815-786-9404, and you can purchase a ticket. It is not specific reserved seatings because it's more informal and fun, and people just go to the silent auction, listen to the comedian. But we would like to know how many people are coming, so we do have an actual ticket.
Okay, wonderful. And Patty, before we close, once again, GoFundMe.com.
Yes.
And then your website.
Yes, it's www.feoas.org.
Okay, Patty, thank you so much for
Great
coming.
to be here,
We'd
as
love
always.
to visit with you and find out what's going on with Fox Valley Older Adults. We're going to
Thank
take
you,
a
Barb.
quick break, and we'll be right back.
We're gonna rob your house tonight.
Don't come closer. I have rabies.
Don't you wish there were warnings to protect you from life's risks? With diabetes, there is one. It's called A1C, a simple blood test that helps measure your risk of serious complications. Learn more at diabetesa1c.org.
¿Cuáles son los números que importan en tu vida? Tu talla,
el celular de tu novia, los cumpleaños de tus hijos.
Si tienes diabetes, el número más importante de tu vida, el que debes saber sí o sí, es tu A1C.
A1C. A1C.
El A1C es el número que le dice a tu doctor si tu diabetes estuvo bajo control los últimos 3 meses.
Porque si tu diabetes no está controlada...
Pregúntale a tu doctor cuál es tu A1C.
Pregúntale. Él lo sabe y tú debes saberlo también.
Únete a la campaña Ahora sé mi A1C.
Deanna Roby joins us now. Deanna is a 4-H youth development educator for University of Illinois Extension, and that's covering 3 counties, DuPage, Kendall, and Kane?
That's correct.
I've got it right.
You've got it right. Great job.
You know, it's great to have you here, and I want to say that a lot of times when we talk about youth organizations like 4-H, we talk about the youth, but we have just completed National Volunteer Month, and I'm so excited about the chance to talk about the great people who make 4-H happen.
Yeah, if we didn't have volunteers that worked with our programs, they just wouldn't exist. I mean, they really are the backbone of our program, and so we've done a great week of celebrating them and thanking them for their time and their efforts, because our programs just really wouldn't exist without them.
Well, I don't think anyone has a clue as to what kind of an impact we're talking. So first, how many kids are involved in your area, those 3 counties, in 4-H?
So in community 4-H clubs, we reach just under 1,000 youth. And then total program-wise, about 14,000, and that includes other things like after-school programs that we have going on, in-school programs, one-day events, those types of different things. So about 14,000 total, but in our community clubs, which is our sustained long-term experience, we've got just under 1,000.
Okay, that's interesting to know that what people think of as a 4-H club, you know, traditionally, you know, that's a small number, but so many more when you add in those extra elements.
Right, absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing. Okay, 14,000 hours. Okay, how many volunteers do you need?
We've got a lot of volunteers, probably between the 3 counties, just around 800. So that's quite a bit to keep track of. But they're not all long-term volunteers. You know, a lot of them are well, teachers. We count teachers as our volunteers because when we do a school program, you know, they're in the school classroom working with those kids, you know, doing the programs. But about 800 volunteers, and between the 3 counties, they give about 36,000 hours. So it's a lot of hours to include, and that really, I think, when we start figuring those numbers, probably mostly our community club volunteers, our spin club volunteers, those types of things.
You shared with me before the show some very impressive statistics on what this means when you look at that volunteer effort, giving it back to the community. Can you share some of that information?
Sure. The 36,000 hours is what they give to us in a yearly basis. And the value of that, we use the dollar value that Independent Sector uses, which is a national organization. The dollar value of that to our local program, just our local program, is about almost $900,000 that they give back to us.
Amazing.
Very amazing.
You couldn't afford to have a youth program like 4-H if it wasn't for volunteering.
Right. If we didn't have, as I said, if we didn't have the volunteers, the programs just wouldn't happen, because our staff is relatively small. You know, I coordinate the overall program in the 3 counties, but then we have staff in each of the individual counties that works on a daily basis with those local programs. So not a lot of staff.
And you mentioned some really interesting different ways that people can get involved with 4-H. You said the regular community groups, and then you mentioned
Spin clubs.
Okay.
They're called Spin. It's really special interest, more of a short-term experience, 6 to 8 sessions. They have a special interest that they want to share with young people, whether it's woodworking, cooking, visual arts, electricity, robotics, any of those types of things. Meet 6 to 8 times, and they can spread that out to fit their schedule. 6 weeks. It could be 6 months. It could be, you know, 3 weeks, 2 times a week. You know, they can spread that out.
So this small group of kids could learn a career.
Absolutely.
Or get at least dip their toe into a career, get a little bit of exposure to a career in a short period of time, and make a small group experience, and then move on to something else.
Right, absolutely. In fact, I think we worked with the welding program here at Waubonsie Community College. They hosted a spin club workshop for us and did a series of sessions and did welding, and kids that were interested in that. A lot of them that participated in that in particular were using it to help the robotics project that they participate in.
Oh, so they can turn that experience into a 4-H fair project.
Absolutely.
Oh, Oh, I see. Okay.
Absolutely.
And
or as you said, a career. Lots of our kids find a career opportunity or something they're interested in pursuing down the road because of something they've done either in a spin club or a community 4-H club or a workshop that we've hosted.
you also have special workshops that are one-day events?
Yep, special workshops. Those happen a lot of times spring break week. We try to focus them on times when kids have off of school, and they're open to anybody. You don't have to be a 4-H member to participate in those. But spring break, summer, the Christmas holiday, any time where we've got maybe days off of school, we try to host something that kids could participate in.
You also shared with me that there's some science behind this, that you've actually looked to see what the difference is between a kid who's involved in 4-H and a kid who doesn't have that opportunity, and that it really does make an impact on their character and their education in the future.
Right. Actually, National 4-H, so 4-H is a national organization, and they did a study with Tufts University several years ago now, well, not several years ago, probably 5 years ago, and showed that kids that are involved in 4-H are 3 times more likely to go to college. So it's an interesting program. Lots of opportunities for kids.
Yeah, they're learning confidence. They're learning to talk to adults.
Absolutely.
They're learning to be proud of what they make. So it's great. It really is. You have well, now we're looking at the beginning of the summer months, and I know you have an extensive schedule. And even though we know 4-H is something that's every day of the year, I know there's a big push in the summer months because fair time is right around the corner.
Fair time's right around the corner, and for our 4-H kids in the community club setting or even spin clubs, that really is the culmination of the 4-H year, and they get to show the public the project work that they've been doing all year long. It's an opportunity to experience mastery in a project, and they get to exhibit that at the county fairs. And so each of our counties, our 3 counties, have a county fair, and those are coming up. We still got a few things to finish up before we get to those, but we're actively planning those and gearing up for them.
But it seems to me that's not the only event that we have to look forward to. You've got some other things coming up this spring and summer.
Yeah, in Kendall County they do what's called International Night. Clubs pick a country to study. That's a project. It's called Passport to the World. They pick a club to study, they prepare a display, and then they present that display to the public. We're also going to do in Kendall County, at least this year, that's going to be the fair judging experience. So the International Night will be their fair judging experience. And they'll prepare a display related to that country, a little snack for people to taste if they're interested in tasting food from another culture. But the kids will be there and they'll present their countries and have a great evening. It's on actually next Friday night, April 22nd.
Okay, you also get involved with the Conservation Foundation. You do things over at Dixon
Merst. We're going to do Spring at the Farm, which is May 1st. Our kids will be there. The 4-H clubs will be there doing a Make It Take It display related to butterflies and entomology. And then, of course, one of our other popular program areas, the Master Gardeners, will be there with a home help desk that day and will be able to answer questions that the public has as well.
Fantastic. And I know that there's other things going on always, things like public presentations, you have fashion shows, you have so many different things that kids can do in 4-H. It's not just animals, it's anything you want to learn, any career or any activity you want to learn. How can they get more information?
They can visit our website, which is web.extension.illinois.edu/DKK, or they can find us on Facebook as well, and it's Extension DKK at Facebook too.
Okay, and I know that sounds like a mouthful, but if you just start typing in U of I Extension,
you'll find
and
it.
if you do your county, it's going to lead you right there, and you're going to be glad you did because it's an extensive website with a lot of information.
Yes, it is.
Deanna, you and I never have enough time to talk. I really appreciate you coming on our show today. I'm just thrilled to have you here, and I'm glad that you were able to share some information about 4-H.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Great to be here with you again.
And that's going to wind up our show today. I'm Barb Nadeau for Fox Valley Television. Thanks for being with us.